Thank you guys, fellas, so much. Welcome to Hot Shot Sports. This is the sports we have got your favorite gifts, memes, and more. Stay tuned. Our first show of the semester, your favorite show, Hot Shot Sports, is next. Thank you again. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Hot Shot Sports, our first show of the semester, so let's make it a good one. I'm your host for the next 30 minutes, Greg Hill. Thank you for joining me. My panelists tonight are the one and only Max Holden and Carter Meyer. Say hi to Mom, guys.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom.
Carter recently evolving from the audience to the show, so we'll welcome you to the desk, fellas. And
I moved up.
and let's get started. Here we go on headline number one. Now, it's no mystery to anyone around the sports world that the NFL has started up, and we have begun. Fellas, let's get right down to it. The NFL season thus far, what do you see?
Oh, goodness. Well, for me, big thing, the NFC is just topsy-turvy all over the place.
That's very true.
The Rams are good with Case Keenum starting.
Which is bizarre, but...
The Falcons have the #1 offense, and then we have the Panthers and the Cardinals, both at 1 and 3.
Laying eggs.
And these guys were both projected to be in the NFC Conference Championship, potentially Super Bowl teams.
Carter, what do you see, man?
Well, what I'm seeing, I like to look at Russell Wilson right now, and the guy, he's playing through these injuries, and he's becoming someone who we've always seen in the past, and got a little shaky there the past couple of years, but now he's throwing some dimes there and shredding New York's defense.
Yeah, I think it's a credit to Russell's pretty solid receivers that he has. I mean, and coming off an offense that lost a big, vital part in their run game, Marshawn Lynch retiring, obviously something to go on. So, Max, would you say that your biggest surprise would be the the sort of downfall of the Panthers so far?
Yeah, that would be a big part of it. I mean, there was questions about their offensive line going into the year last year.
Of course.
But those are starting to materialize now. And then also, for me, it's their defense. Like, I know they're probably, I don't know if they're regretting Josh Norman now, but to see them give up 500 passing yards to Matt Ryan, 300 to Quintorris, something absolutely that I was not expecting this year with the guys like Kuechly and Norman that they have.
Well, yeah, it definitely came out of nowhere, honestly. And what I was looking up, it was actually the first tandem, Julio and Matt Ryan, to go over 500 passing yards and 300 receiving yards during the Super Bowl era. So that's amazing. Kind of came out of nowhere.
And this is both against, the Carolina Panthers defense that has Kuechly, that has some
renowned great defense.
At least linebackers, the corners lost again, a big fall. Davis, exactly. So kind of something to look about. Let's turn to the AFC, shall we, guys? Not so much strength coming out of the AFC other than maybe Pittsburgh and then the Pats looking good, and obviously the Broncos. But I think let's go back to that defense discussion. The defense is something to very a credit to. Broncos defense is scary. Also looking back at the NFC, the Minnesota defense is just as scary as we saw last night.
Definitely.
So, are we stressed? Is this becoming more stressed year of defensive play or maybe just lack of offense?
I think that some of these defenses are like almost transcendent. Like just watching the way that they're shutting down people. Like Minnesota's defense, you look at the quarterbacks that they've played against so far. They've played against Aaron Rodgers, Cam Newton, and then the ever bipolar Eli Manning, but still a 2-time Super Bowl MVP. So to watch two former NFL MVPs get absolutely shut down by that defense is that I'm a believer.
And I think that's a good point to bring up. I saw a stat from Minnesota's defense that they face Aaron Rodgers, Eli Manning, and remind me who else?
Cam?
And Cam. And they combined for 5 interceptions and only 1 pass touchdown. All 3 of those quarterbacks.
That's insane.
So that's something to look at, and it's just, defense heavy this game, guys. So it's good
scary.
to look on.
Good,
Talking about the NFL, it makes it a good segue. Well, we know what we do here. Sports broadcasters, we get the reliability of your local politician and your local weatherman. So what we're going to do is project highly on the Super Bowl picks and who's going to make it to the end this year, all the way to the end. Let's take a look at Mac's Super Bowl picks right now. We're going to take a look at them. Max, bring us through your thoughts, how you came to these matchups, and who you think is going to take home the crown in the end.
Oh, goodness. Well, I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Denver Broncos coming out of the AFC. I can't get over how sexy the big three for Pittsburgh is. When you have Le'Veon Bell, when you have Big Ben Roethlisberger.
It's a good way to describe it, though.
I mean, you can't watch it and think anything else.
Honestly,
oh my goodness! When you were watching that KC game, I was in love. But so all three of those guys to be healthy, who I said Big Ben, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, that offense, I just don't see them getting stopped.
Okay. Coming out of the
Coming
NFC?
out of the AFC, and then with that, they'll be playing Denver, I think, because just Denver's defense, and I think you can put any quarterback in that situation and do well. Now the NFC, I actually changed this from last night.
Is that right?
I had Green Bay and Seattle, and then I watched Minnesota. I was thinking that last night would be the night that they were proven as frauds. They're not frauds, they're legit, and I have them going all the way to the NFC Championship, but I just believe in Russell Wilson.
There you go. Congratulations, Vikes fans. Mr. Holden gives you his validification there. Validation?
Validation.
Yeah, we know it.
Next
You're
up,
welcome.
Carter Meyer, please bring
Yes.
us through who you think are going to get to each championship and who takes home the crown in the end of the season.
Well, first I gotta say, I had a blast making this last night. It was awesome.
You did very well.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, but the AFC, I got the Steelers again, the trio. They're deadly. You know, they're all together. They're healthy. They're a scary-looking team. And then Patriots with Brady, you know, coming back after this. You know, you can see Belichick. He wants to party right there. That face is just, he's ready to make it to the end. Yeah, so I got the Patriots winning there, and Tom Brady giving some high fives.
I like your NFC matchup, though.
Thank you. Yeah,
That's nice.
NFC, yeah, of course. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers with a great stash, and it's just going to be a rematch from last year. You know, like I know with Carson Palmer getting a concussion, I still think they're a good team. I think the Packers are going to find their footing and move forward, and they're going to be playing the Patriots in the Super Bowl with them winning because the Packers are the best.
Packers win.
Yes.
Who wins?
Pittsburgh. Give
Pittsburgh
me Pittsburgh.
wins. All right. I like it. Moving on. Thank you, fellas, for that insight. We are going to move on to our next headline. Now, it's no other mystery that college football is back and the hype is real, friends. There's powerhouse teams absolutely dominating. As always, we got some constants in the mix, as well as Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson also working out there. Rounding out the top five, Michigan and Washington. And also some surprises. Houston looking fantastic at number 6. Louisville taking 7. Texas A&M at 8. The Vols at 9. And BU taking out the top 10 spot at 11. Friends, I think we have some teams that are pretty close to this panel. Let's talk about let's just focus in on the Badgers for a second, because I know our viewers are going to want to listen to something like that. Advancing in the ranks, they got a big matchup this week. How do you guys think that they'll turn out in you think they'll get to the top 10? I'll just leave it at that. Do you think they get in the top 10?
I think that we can end up in the top 10. I don't think that we'll do well against Ohio State coming up here. I think that that's going to be an absolute bloodbath, and I love Bucky, but I don't think that we have the offense to sustain. I don't think Hornibrook can do it. The run game looks terrible.
You know, I was saying something to my Wisconsin friends out there, and it was just they were getting really offended how I said that they wouldn't beat Ohio State. Carter, your thoughts on how the Badgers will do this Saturday?
Okay, this Saturday, well, they have the bye week this Saturday, and so they'll have a week to recover and to get their footing. You know, and Camp Randall's a pretty tough place to play in. You know?
Yeah,
we all know what happened last time when Ohio State was number 1.
Yeah, come on.
So, like, I'm not going to rule them out. I think the Badgers have a great defense with T.J. Watt. So, you can't count them out right away.
Very nice. It's good to look at. Let's look at Wisconsin's schedule coming up. After Ohio State, they got Iowa, kind of flatlining, looking strong in the first place, but they've dealt with some injuries. Nebraska, and then I believe you guys got a wipe with Northwestern, Illinois, Purdue, and Minnesota taking the rest of your conference. How about the rest of college football? Early top 4 predictions. What are you guys thinking?
Oh, goodness. If in my heart of hearts, I would love to see Houston make the top 4.
That would be incredible.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
I think Clemson for sure is going to be in there. There's no way that you can ride Alabama.
No.
And I know that Louisville lost, but I think that they can climb back into that playoff.
They look good
competition.
doing it, sort of.
They do,
Maybe not. Maybe debatably towards the
lights
end.
were a little too big for them.
A little.
But the talent is there.
The talent is there.
The talent
Lamar
is there.
Jackson. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
The man is a star.
Now, whose performance in that Clemson-Louisville game was more impressive? Was it Lamar Jackson coming back, or was it Deshaun Watson kind of pushing their way through for the rest of the game, like coming out late? Sort of.
I think for that instance, it's like a tale of two quarterbacks, because you have a guy who's got all of the flash and all of the energy, and then with Deshaun, you've got like the more established guy who's been there and done it. So I think that Lamar Jackson is by far the more talented quarterback, but I want I want Deshaun under center in crunch time.
Okay, all right, good. I like that.
Yeah. You know, I agree with that somewhat, yes. But also, like Lamar Jackson, he's young and he needs to get that experience underneath him. And I think once he does, he's definitely has all the talent. I mean, Mike Vick even said he's better than what he was in college.
I know.
It's
crazy.
It gives me tingles. I love that. So, yeah, I'd love to see Lamar Jackson.
More accurate too. And then in that game, he had Lamar Jackson. He was insane. He threw 3 total touchdowns. He had 295 passing yards, 162 rushing yards, and a QBR like 91.9. This kid's just a freak against that Clemson defense.
A matchup to look forward to, possibly in the playoffs. If not, 2 quarterbacks to definitely keep your eye on. Thank you for your thoughts, gentlemen. Let's move on to our 4th headline of the day. We're going to deke away from the pigskin a little bit. We're going to go towards the orange ball, and that is basketball. Preseason kicked off last night, fellas. Tell me, did you guys watch any preseason games to start out with? Did you keep an eye on them, maybe? Did I expose you right now?
I'm keeping an eye on my Bucks.
Okay.
I saw that we pulled out a W against Chicago.
You know what? Let's talk about that because you're in the midst of a Chicago fan right here, and it's nothing that you can avoid, especially everyone at home. And you know, it was close, which I think is an awesome indication of both of those teams in the East. The Bucks, obviously an up-and-coming team. The Bulls fallen hard after their legacy with Tom Thibodeau and all of that. And so do we see the Bucks at least in the top 8 at the end of the year into the playoffs?
We do.
Okay.
Okay. Well.
Right.
No.
Are you
I
a
just
Bucks fan,
honestly,
Carter?
I'm a huge Bucks fan,
Okay.
and I'm happy they gave Giannis that huge $100 million contract. That's awesome.
Yes.
They just need to get just more experience under their belt. Honestly, they're a young team.
Yeah, they are very young.
Yes, but they have great leadership with Jason Kidd, and I'd love to see them in the playoffs. You know, I'm not going to complain if they're there, but I think they just need to get a little bit more.
I want to honestly ask you this question. For being Bucks fans, I'm going to say 3 words, and you're going to get, and your initial reaction will let me know what you think. And those 3 words are Michael Carter Williams. Okay. I think that's a pretty organic. That's a pretty organic reaction.
I know, right?
You know, honestly, he had kind of a key rebound block, out of bounds, whatever you want to call it, at the end. Granted, it's preseason, but still, I mean, something like that definitely matters. And I mean, the Bulls lost that game because they couldn't rebound the ball when it counted, which is something to account for your height that you have. I mean, you guys have been looking for that. Especially out of a young team. Now, if you want something really special as a Bucks fan, look up this video. Anyone at home, too. Look up this video of Stacey King. He's the color commentator for the local Bulls. Did you guys hear this?
Yes.
He butchers Giannis's last name.
How
do you say it? Antetokounmpo, right?
Antetokounmpo.
But he just bails out like halfway through. He just and he puts like an R on it. Like
it's not good at all.
Or something. He just kind of bails out. So it's kind of funny to see. But it's cool that you guys are reaching out two younger athletes, and that's why we're going to talk about the Bucks. We'll keep your eye on something in the Bucks. Yeah, I have cut them off. That's what happens when a Chicago fan hosts the show. Exactly. So thank you guys for talking about that. Stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break, but we're going to come back with the best part of Hot Shot Sports, your games. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Hot Shot Sports. Thank you for joining us. That is a great, fantastic ad. I've never seen that for Comic Club before, so always something to look out, especially as communication students. Guys, it's game time.
Let's go.
And it's time to play Mail Time.
Mail time.
So, as you've seen before, I'm sure on many different sports shows that we're not going to name via copyright things, and I don't want to get this fabulous studio sued. We play Mail Time where we take your questions and we will discuss them openly. So we're going to get audio of the first question. Audience member, please read the first question in the mailbox.
With Tom Brady coming back, should the rest of the league keep an eye on the Pats' backups at QB? like Jacoby Brissett and Garoppolo?
Very good question.
It's sent in by Jay Edelman.
Keeping an eye on Julian Edelman for you, too.
Thank you, Jay, for giving us that question. And it's something to think about, guys. Brissett looked pretty good for an incoming quarterback, for a rookie. Obviously, rookie quarterbacks are dominating this league right now. Taking a look at something that our fan of our show, Jay Edelman, tweeted of his favorite quarterback coming back, and he's finally free.
Hashtag
let's just talk about Brady coming back. Are you stoked for the rest of the league, or if you're not a Pats fan, are you upset? Are you worried that you might do something?
I'm worried just because I'm a Packer fan and I don't want to have Brady back because Brady's a threat and he's scary and he's just amazing. But good for their team, sure.
All right. Cynical Pat views over here.
And as a fan of the game, I think that you can't help but knowing Brady and his character thus far, that when he comes back, he's going to come back angry. He's going to. I wouldn't be surprised if he threw 50 touchdowns in the next 12 games, and he comes back against the Cleveland Browns. So it's going to be bloody.
That's another thing, and I mean we're going to have our fantasy segment later, and we'll get into more of who should we start. But now looking at. Is Brady, like you said, is Brady going to be Brady? Will he be after a suspension? We've had a suspension before. We've had injuries.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I saw a video of him tossing dimes at practice. People were recording it. Yeah, while they were off playing their game against. I can't remember who it was. Yeah, but they're throwing. He's throwing dimes. So Brady's in form.
So no quarterback controversy in New England.
No.
Okay.
Chucking this.
Whoever sent that question.
Picture with Giselle. Yeah. Okay.
Come on.
How can you play bad with Giselle
he's the
by your
GOAT.
side, right? Exactly.
She's the reason he's the GOAT.
Moving on to the second question. Audience member, please read our second question for us.
Who is to blame for yet another ridiculous call on the field of an NFL game? How upset should the Browns be? That was sent in by the Twitter handle @TheDukeJohnson.
Very nice. Okay, so if you guys missed this play, that's awesome. If you missed this play, Duke Johnson was carrying the ball, falls over, clearly fumbles the ball, if you've seen clips of it. But also, what is also definitive is he also gets possession of the ball. And yet the referee still, let's take a look at, if you can see the picture behind me, he has the ball in his hand, but yet the ref still calls fumble Washington ball. I mean, who's to blame? Who do we point, as sports analysts, who do we automatically point the finger at?
The ref.
Of course, audience member, thank you.
Should we bring him back?
Bring him back, they're better.
Everyone whines about the refs until the replacement refs are brought in. But no, it's kind of a ridiculous call, and the fact that it was never overviewed is something to think about. Now, do you blame the NFL for coming out with a statement saying, we screwed up? Obviously, something that's happened before is them coming out with a statement saying this.
I just think it was unnecessary for them to come out with a statement because these are Browns fans. They're used to disappointment. You don't have to make up for it. They expect this. They expect you to pass up on Derek Carr. They expect you to pass up on Carson Wentz. So I just think that with another team, maybe you would want to apologize if you were dealing with NFL royalty, but with Cleveland, just let it be. Don't rub it in.
I love it. Anything bad happens to Cleveland, just leave it.
Just leave it.
Carter, do you think it was the right move for the NFL to release a statement?
To release a statement, sure. I mean, they could have done it, they couldn't have. It's like when you're a ref. You make a call, you have to stick with it. You can't go back on it, otherwise people are gonna question every single one of your calls. So, cool, they released it. Good. We've all known they've screwed up in the past. At least they admitted to it.
So this isn't saving face for the NFL by any means.
No, people are like, oh, you screwed up. Like, it's going to happen again in the future. At least I personally think that.
To the Browns.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely. Blame everything on them. Yep.
Browns don't need the refs' help. Front office
to win or lose.
Front office will take care of it.
All right, guys. Last question. One more question. Please, audience member, read it.
We got a Facebook message from Josh Norman of the Redskins. Given his past reputation, decisions, and field presence, should we feel sorry for reigning MVP Cam Newton?
Oh, I like that Josh decided to take time on his
Yeah, he's an avid watcher of
on
the
one
show.
of his favorite subjects, Cam Newton. Now, guys,
Great guy.
Cam Newton, under concussion protocol, may not play Thursday. They got a shortened week, so it's not in his favor. Do we feel sorry for him?
No. You can't feel sorry for Cam Newton. I think that he gets a lot of flags that he shouldn't, but with the number of yards.
We got something. We got a clip of the actual hit
let's see
that gave
clip.
him this. If you want to take a look real quick,
Bang.
This is the hit of him going down. Still gets the touchdown. Now, in real time, it doesn't look bad. Slow-mo, it is a helmet-to-helmet hit.
Yeah.
But Cam has come out saying that it was his fault. He began sauntering into the end zone.
Yep.
And I think the lesson we should all take away from this is that just get across the line.
Yeah.
Get across the line.
Do what you got to do afterwards, but get across the line. Business is business. I mean, you can spread that to college players too. Dropping the ball
right
on a
before.
kickoff return. How to just
The
mad does
Deshaun
that
Jackson.
make you? Exactly. So we'll leave it at that. Norman, Duke Johnson, and Julian Edelman, thank you for writing the show. We appreciate your feedback. The next game we are moving on to is, I think, will be a fun one. Overrated and or underhated. I'm going to present messages to you guys, and we are going to see if they are either overrated, underhated, both, or neither. So the first one, we will do the NFL new rules. Now, if you're familiar, there was an extra point was moved up to the 15-yard line. That was done last year. The new rules of this year, moving the touchback spot on kick returns to the 25-yard line instead of the 20. What are your guys' thoughts?
Honestly, like, I'm kind of neutral for it. You know, I like how they're changing up the game. It's good.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
I like the extra point a lot just because it adds like an element of excitement to something
scoring.
that was automatic. And then for the kickoff, I'm just kind of at the point where, like, obviously that league is trying to reduce the amount of injuries that occurring on these kickoffs. Just get rid of it. Like, that's my thought. Like, if we're going to get to the point where it's obsolete for you to run it out of the end zone, then just don't kick it off.
Okay, but here's something. Once they move the touchback spot, I looked up some averages. The team to take the most touchbacks is LA of so far this year, with 81.25% times they take the touchback. Okay. Now that average is actually down from what it was last semester, or last year.
College.
Now, people are actually taking the risk each time now more than they are last season. I was shocked to hear that too. I was looking again. There's only been 4 games, so you got to think about that. But you think about how now the last place with the most touchbacks is Houston at 5.62%. Every time they are running out of the end zone.
Might as well. They got to go for it. They're going to win.
Their return.
I couldn't even tell you. I have no idea. But they're going out every time. More rule changes. 2 unsportsmanlike fouls calls for disqualification of a player. Your thoughts on that new rule?
I like the rule a lot.
Okay.
But my issue is I feel like this season there's just been a lot of those flags thrown that I didn't view as unsportsmanlike.
Okay.
So I feel like the dynamic is shifting. But as far as the 2 flags, I think you should definitely get kicked out. I think that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah, I would also agree with the rule with the 2 flags, but they are getting kind of nitpicky with what they're calling. I don't know if that's Goodell, being the dictator he is, or if it's just
well done.
Yeah, what they're told before the season, and whatnot. But the rule is good. They just need to be more clear on what is what.
Okay, good. So we're kicking players out. We don't put up with nothing. No nonsense no more. Last rule, they're talking about doing this next season. Looking towards the future, Max, you brought this up. You like the extra point. They're thinking about narrowing the goalposts for next season. What do you think about that?
Don't tell Blair.
Don't tell Blair. People don't forget.
Oh, it's bogus.
People don't forget. All people in purple now.
The crew's in purple. You're hating on him. Look at D. He still hasn't forgotten that.
So quick thoughts, yay or nay?
I go nay. I just
Nay?
don't see the point.
Yep.
Yay. Make
Yay?
it tougher.
Okay, less scoring in the NFL. That's what we like. All right, friends. Moving on next, we are taking the overhated, underhated. Our next topic for the day is Kevin Durant / the Warriors. Overrated, underhated, or both. Now, I know on my panel right now I have a very strong, passionate member who has great thoughts about Kevin Durant. Do you want to take it away for us, Mr. Holden?
Yeah, Kevin Durant is soft.
Yeah.
He's soft.
Why is that?
He leaves OKC to go and join the team that he lost to in the Western Conference Finals in Game 7.
You can't beat him, join him.
It's just weak. It's weak.
is.
I've heard people compare what he did to what LeBron did in Miami. Not the same thing. Because in this instance, we have a top player leaving to go and be with arguably the best player. That was the best player leaving to go and join other good players. So I just think it was weak. I think the epic bromance of Russell and Kevin Durant being shattered is
and he came out saying
tragic.
Kendrick Perkins was his favorite teammate, not Russ.
Ooh, wow.
Drama.
Gosh.
And one more time, okay, we'll come back with one more overrated, underrated. We'll send it to break right now. Stay tuned with us.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Hey, can't find what you're looking for? What? You can find what you're looking for and more at WMCM. WMCM TV has plenty of shows you can view at your pleasure. There's Profile, where we interview people throughout the community. Or if you like sports, we have Sports Talk Live and Sports Scene. And if you're into celebrity gossip, that's why we have Afternoon Delight.
Well, that all looks great, but I'm on a computer, not a TV. I bet you guys don't have a way for me to watch this stuff on a computer.
Oh, we have that covered too. Just go to WMCMTV.com for all the updates.
Wow, that solves all my problems. Thanks, WMCM Genie.
That's how I feel personally.
Hot Shot Sports! Hot Shot Sports!
Thank you again, guys, for joining us on Hot Shot Sports. Now, I know we got cut off a little early. We're going to do one more overrated or underhated, and let's just get a graphic on this. The fact that Hot Shot did not cover the postseason at all for this game. Feeling like Ricky Fowler.
You know.
And yeah, we're getting our own.
Thank you, Ricky.
Really patting the backside of the NFL, the NBA, and college football, dominating our discussions. I just wanted to make that apparent that we love you, baseball, just none of us up here care. Okay, moving on. Moving on to, I think, a great segment that we're going to add to this show is fantasy woes, especially during the football season. Guys, let's just a quick synopsis of your fantasy year so far. Carter, how about you kick us off, friend?
Oh, geez. I'm just going to start off with I accidentally dropped Randall Cobb. I tried to switch him. I just started using. I know I'm kind of a rookie.
Accidentally hold on.
Whoa, okay, so it's a new system. I'm using Yahoo Sports now on my phone, and I've never used them before. I've always used ESPN, and I actually dropped him. But thankfully, I have good friends, and it's not a big money league, so yeah, I know. That's how I am. That's my fantasy. Well, yeah, I'm kind of a rookie.
Dude. Okay. All right, Max.
Check the injury report. That's what I'm going to say to the young fantasy players out there. Check the injury report before you draft, the injury history, because Des Bryant, Sammy Watkins, Adrian Peterson, Gronkowski,
Romo.
Thomas Rawls, you're all on my team, and there's all a big red O by your names, and it's just
Someone is playing the waiver wire this week.
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
Now, we're going to, right here, I got a beef to have with fans, because that's exactly how I feel. Yep. The game in London, all right, Jacksonville, cool. They're playing. They're trying to build a base over there. Jacksonville goes over every year. But when I wake up at 9:30 from the Oktoberfest night before, I want to check my lineup, okay? Right. Turns out, Julius Thomas is out. And I didn't set my lineup, because who sets their lineup at 7:30 in the morning? I was still waiting to hear, and it's just frustrates me that I had no tight end, but I still won anyway.
Hey, come on.
Just had to get that rant
Say it
out.
with your chest.
I feel so much better. Now, I want a little advice, everyone here, a little fantasy advice. So I have been faithful to Philip Rivers on my league that I'm 4-0. 4-0 P. Rivs. Not a good record, 1-3, but one of the top fantasy quarterbacks across the whole league. But I also have a Mr. Tom Brady on my bench.
Oh, little ace in the hole. Ace in the hole.
What?
Hashtag free.
Do I stay faithful to P. Rivs, or am I putting the
You
boy
should
in
just
blue
call
back?
him up. Shoot him a tweet and see what he says.
He
might respond, honestly.
Here's the thing. Like we said, exactly, Kyle Pop, thank you for noting that he is playing the Browns.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. That's basically
am I
practice.
looking for 46 points from Tom Brady? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Ride or die by your studs. You got to go Brady.
Yeah, okay, so Brady is my starting lineup. Is there always a game, or are there always two players that you guys ever kind of crisscross between, like maybe what you should do? Is there any, like a flex spot, maybe a running back? Do you got one?
I struggle with Jeremy Maclin versus Emmanuel Sanders a lot of the
That's
time.
actually
That's the one
good.
where I'm always, I never know which guy to put in that flex spot. And that's been because sometimes Emmanuel Sanders doesn't get any looks, and Jeremy Maclin goes off, and vice versa, and I always am on the wrong side of it.
Same feeling with Eric Decker.
Yes.
Same thing.
Yeah, that's what I was honestly going to say.
Yep.
Eric Decker, just a model of consistency. But now he's out. He was out the past couple weeks, but now he's on.
He's coming off
He
a
might
bye
be,
week,
yeah,
though.
he might, yeah, he's day to day. Like right now, they changed. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Eric Decker's
Good
iffy.
flex.
Yes.
So, well, you know what, fellas? First hot shot of the year, I say it went pretty well.
Yes, sir.
I like to thank you guys.
Great audience.
Everyone,
Honestly.
Great audience.
Fantastic,
I felt great.
fantastic crew, and everyone who wrote in the show.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Thank you all for joining us. The first show. Oh, no, not yet, but you're sticking around. I'm not letting you off yet. I know that. I just want to give a big shout out to Mrs. Holden. Never met you in my life, but I know that you're watching. So I want to wave hi to Max's mom.
Say hi.
Everyone say hi to Max.
Even though you beat me in fantasy football this week, I still love you. Yeah.
That takes
I know,
to
I
get that on
know.
television.
Tough love.
She's
And-
4-0. She's an animal.
Who is she starting at quarterback?
Yeah, why isn't she on the show?
She's Cam's her
You
guy.
get to come on our show next time. And until then, we like to wish you guys thanks for joining us, guys. You guys did fantastic. Everyone on the crew
Awesome.
did fantastic.
Thank you.
Always keep it here for WMCM TV. We got great shows
Let's
all
go.
week, or all semester long. So we'd like to thank you guys, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching Hot Shot Sports.
Yeah.